I come to you with a theory. And the theory is let Joe Biden yell and scream and caterwaul and complain and go nuts about MAGA Republicans all he wants. And I am not arguing that there can't be a response. I'm arguing that the response of yelling, screaming, gnashing of teeth, how dare you, isn't the response that America actually wants or needs. If we're talking about elections here, because that's what this is all about, why do you think Biden's saying any of the things that he's saying? He needed a way to rally his base, something they can unify on. And what are they unifying on? Calling half the country fascists. It's what they're unifying on. Welcome to the show, presented by Americans for Prosperity, AmericansForProsperity.org. Free speech matters quite a bit. So does economic liberty. Two things that are well under threat, but not from MAGA Republicans. I still, to this day, I'm not sure how that's supposed to be qualified or quantified. And of course, you don't either. But we know that the whole purpose is to say there are good Republicans and then bad Republicans. And if you are somebody who opposes what they like, you're a bad Republican. Now, this is exactly what Biden said in his speech in Philadelphia, if you were listening. The purpose is to divide. The purpose is to attack. The purpose is to denigrate. And as we have seen from the radicals at MSNBC, whether it's commentary from Elie Mystal or from Dino Badala or from Joy Reid, who this is special. This is special right here. Trump raid could have some connection to murdered CIA assets, according to Joy Reid, because, of course, she has all the inside information on murdered CIA assets. But look at what the plan is. They're fascists. They can't be trusted. You have people saying with the appointment of the special master, somebody to look at whether or not the former president can engage the idea of executive privilege, or what are the documents that were taken that are actually covered by attorney-client privilege. He shouldn't be allowed to do that. Now, lawyers can argue whether or not the special master should have been appointed, but they're making the argument that the former president, Donald Trump, shouldn't have any rights. And they make the same argument about you if you're supportive of the president. What if you think January 6th was a riot and you thought that Donald Trump handled it wrong, but you don't think he was a bad president in terms of policies? Are you still a MAGA Republican? I don't know what to make of it, because nobody knows what to make of it. You get to utilize it as you see fit. And the thing they want to see is half the country say to the other half of the country, you're not allowed to have a say. You're not allowed to have a vote. You're not allowed to voice your opinion. As a matter of fact, your opinion is dangerous and you should be proactively silenced. Didn't we see that happen exactly, if we want to discuss fascism, between the government and big tech when they wouldn't allow the Hunter Biden story through? Well, of course we did. We saw it with our own eyes and we said, what the bloody hell is this? That's in a definition, because fascism is how government works with larger entities. That would be a definition, a true definition of something that is fascistic. You know, in the same way you cannot properly explain what the heck semi-fascist is. I have no idea what semi-fascist is. I assume semi-fascist is, I'm kind of excited, but I still need a little more foreplay. That's how I have described semi-fascist, hit my microphone, to anybody who is listening. Joy Reid wants you to believe that Trump is getting CIA agents killed. I am somebody who is concerned about this election, because there's a lot of you want to worry about violence being ginned up. I don't want any violence. I want elections. I want every legal vote to be counted. I sure as hell don't want this. What do you call this? What do you call this when Roland Martin on MSNBC says we have to go to war? What do you call it when people say anybody who is connected to Trump should be seen as an accomplice? An accomplice to what? And this obsession about Trump. Well, you see, that's how they give away the problem with their approach. They believe that it puts them on offense, attack. And they may very well be right. Attack. He may very well be right that this is the approach.
This is not your father's Republican Party. This is a totally different party, man. These guys are different. I've worked with a lot of Republicans, conservative Republicans I work with. Got a lot done, but it was always There was always something decent about the work. But then we moved to this place where all of a sudden, the reason it made me run, I decided, was when you saw those people coming out of the fields down in Virginia carrying torches, literally coming out of the fields carrying torches with swastikas, chanting the same anti-Semitic bile that was chanted in literally the same anti-Semitic bile chanted in Germany in the 30s, accompanied by the Ku Klux Klan. And the guy that I beat in this last election, and when they asked what he thought, he said there were really fine people on both sides.
Maybe that's the approach. Say I've worked with decent Republicans, but these people aren't decent. And then once again lie about what former President Trump said regarding Charlottesville. He never said of Nazis or neo-Nazis they were very fine people. It never got said, and we know that that's a lie. They don't care that they lie. That's extremely obvious. Time and again and again and again. Maybe this approach is going to work in the view of Democrats. Here's the real view. You need chefs. The restaurant industry is facing a shortage of chefs. The Culinary Institute used to take, I think it was 31% of applicants just about 2 decades ago, and now they're taking 97% of applicants. Why? They need chefs. Because if you want to go out to eat, if you want to talk about where the economy is on Midwest Main Street, well, this is a big part of it. And right now, there aren't enough of them. Now, it could be for a lot of different things and a lot of different reasons, including the gig economy. There are easier things to do. It's hard work, all that jazz. But someone should be taking a look at the fact that while we want to talk about this booming economy, which isn't, we have got big troubles on the horizon. Energy costs are up massively. And you already take a look at what's going on in Europe. What's going to happen in the United States? OPEC just announced that they are going to reduce output by 100,000 barrels a day. Meanwhile, in the United States, we don't do anything to engage our energy security. Which subject is more going to move Americans? Is it going to be Joe Biden screaming about MAGA Republicans, or you not being able to heat your home this winter? Which one? You see, the focus matters greatly. This is why Biden can scream about this stuff all he wishes. And there is, of course, moments where we should push back. But the focus needs to be on what's really going on. What really is an issue, where the real dangers are. This is a 1-2 punch out of California, starting with questions to the Secretary of Energy, Jennifer Granholm.
So California made national headlines by becoming the first state to say by 2035, we're not going to have any gas-powered vehicles that are new that are being sold. You can still drive your old ones, but you can't sell new ones. You like this concept?
Yeah, I do. I think California really is leaning in. And of course, the federal government has a goal of, the president has announced by 2030 that half of the vehicles in the U.S., the new ones sold, would be electric.
Do you think what California is doing could or should be a national model?
Could be, could be. I mean, I know every state is different, and you always have to respect what the states are doing.
I don't have to respect what California is doing. I respect that Virginia is trying to break away from being connected to California rules and regulations on cars, emissions, things like that. She thinks that electric vehicles are the way to go all across the country. May I ask how we're going to power the electric plants? Is no one going to ask this question? If you limit our energy security, if you limit our energy output, if you tell us that coal is right off the table, right from the word go, what's the plan to power all those electric vehicles? Did you see the video of the coal miners in West Virginia pushing the electric car that needed to get a charge? I mean, it was just a thing of freaking beauty is what it was. So that's the story in California. By 2035, no new vehicles can be sold unless they're electric vehicles. And this has an incredible deleterious effect. This creates a lot of danger because soon they'll say you can't buy a used car from Arizona and then register it in California. Then, of course, they will have less gas stations. So the people who can't afford electric cars and have gas-powered vehicles won't be able to get gas, and they'll be in long lines a la Jimmy Carter. And then, of course, the electric vehicles where they have to stand in line to get more power, they'll be in long lines. This is what California wants to bring to the rest of the country. literally the day after making the announcement about going electric, they said, oh, by the way, please don't charge your vehicle if you don't have to, because the power grid's having problems. Speaking of the power grid,
California and many other Western states are experiencing simply unprecedented temperatures. In fact, this heat wave is on track to be both the hottest and the longest on record for the state and many parts of the West for the month of September. Californians, you've stepped up to help in a big way to keep the lights on so far. But we're heading to the worst part of this heat wave, and the risk for outages is real and it's immediate. These triple-digit temperatures throughout much of our state are leading, not surprisingly, to record demand on the energy grid. Everyone has to do their part to help step up for just a few more days. Individuals, the state, industries, business, all doing their part to help reduce strain on the grid.
Just like Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, did his part during COVID by not going to French Laundry, the very high-end restaurant, and eating with a group of friends without wearing a mask. Hold on. What? Oh, he went to French Laundry and he ate dinner with a group of friends and wasn't wearing a mask. Oh, well, that's just awkward. They tell you to get an electric vehicle because that way you're a friend of the environment. And then they tell you can't charge the vehicle. Then they tell you that you have to do your part. Now, I don't argue that there may be times where people have to do their part, but when you don't believe in empowering the state, not empowering, literally providing power to the state, this is what you get. Doing your part will be seen as don't run your air conditioning and don't turn on your lights. Everybody gets a candle. That's going to be the new slogan when you run for governor in California. No cars in the garage and a candle in every pot. It's not a way to exist. Americans want mobility and they want freedom, which means they want energy security to be able to go about doing that. So if Joe Biden wants to scream about MAGA Republicans, well, let the old man. What's our plan? Our plan should be policies, people to vote for, to enact those policies, because these people are just destroying you. These people are limiting you. These people are keeping you down. These people are punishing you for wanting to be able to live your life the way you see fit, as opposed to the way they deem you living your life, because they believe they know best for you. That's the argument. That has to be the driving principle in conversation. Nothing else matters. Does it matter if I scream and yell about Joe Biden saying that half the country is fascist? I don't know how it wins an election if I do that. Now, Joe Biden being called out for hypocrisy, I think that matters quite a great deal. I think when it's known that Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary, tweeted in 2017 that the election was stolen by Donald Trump, man, that's a pretty good thing to bring up. And Peter Doocy did bring it up in the White House press briefing today, and I was glad that he did. The focus has to be on the things that actually move people and move people to vote. And the screaming of people as fascist, well, I admit that's going to get some people riled up. But you could push back on that while pushing the idea of policies. And here's what I'm going to do, or here's what this group is going to do, this party is going to do, vote for them. Here's the policy. Here's why your life is better. Here's why it's important. Here's what Joe Biden has done, and he's not even talking about it. Here's what Joe Biden has lied about, and he's only talking about MAGA Republicans. The man sounds crazy. You know what? We should be less crazy. Let's do these things here that make our lives better. That's the approach. That's the approach. Now, do not get me wrong. As I've said twice now, it's okay to push back. I, for example, have referred to Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders as communists. I've done it. I apologize to no one, because I didn't just decide, well, they disagree with me, ergo they're communists. I took a look at what it is they say, what it is they believe, the policies they push, and I have come to a conclusion based on history and evidence that these are radical policies that fit into the camp of communism and don't in any way, shape, or form move forward America as we know it, or as we should have it, or as it was conceived, or as it is better for the world. When Bernie Sanders says that bread lines are good things, because in other countries, People don't line up for food. The rich get the food and the poor starve to death. He actually said those words. What's better, you lining up for bread or bread lining up for you? Walk in to any bakery. Walk in to any store. What's better? You wait on a line for 6 hours for a loaf of bread, or you walk into a bakery, you walk into a supermarket, and there are these damn loaves of bread just waiting for you. They're literally screaming out, buy me. I'm assuming they have to hold their arms up. Maybe it's a little bit more like this, right? Buy me. That's what they're saying. What's better? Proof that Bernie Sanders' policies don't create a better society, don't create a better life. That's how we come to decisions that or understandings, because we utilize facts, logic, and reason. We take a look at history. We take a look at what people are saying, and we are able to draw a pattern. We're able to connect the dots. They don't even care if they can do that regarding calling people fascists. It's just the easiest way to dehumanize people and therefore dismiss them. And as I said, it does become a serious problem regarding elections and how violence can happen. Because if you see somebody on the other side of the aisle or who disagrees with you as, well, they're just a fascist, we can't let them run the country, you're giving those people free license to do anything because, well, they're fascists. We had to stand up to them. They're not fascists. They're people who disagree with you. And that's our job, to share that conversation with people who are rational, and people will get attracted to that message. Now, who am I saying this for? Am I saying this for your sake? I doubt it. Maybe I'm saying it for my sake because I just got to get it out there. I'm saying this for the sake of Republicans. If you want to engage in fighting this 79-year-old man, is he 79? Is he 80? 79, right? If you want to engage fighting this guy, well, you can't out-scream a crazy person, can you? You can't out-crazy the crazy, can you? Can you get any more ridiculous and radical than Joy Reid? No, you can't. So why try? Connect with people in the subjects or on the conversations that actually move them. The Republican Party is the party of stupid. And there is nobody who can snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory better than the Republican Party. I just don't want them to do that. I don't want them to do that at all. Let me go to the comments. Greg, good to see you too, man. I appreciate it. I enjoyed lunch today. And yes, Andy, it's always better that bread lines up to you. Now, Andy, let me tell you how absolutely not true this is. I was on News Nation a couple weeks ago. I'm on like every Sunday night, and then I do stuff during the week. I think I'm on tomorrow. I was debating, I guess I was on a panel with this Democratic strategist, and she said that she thought that Gavin Newsom might be a serious contender for 2024. Crystal Knight is her name. She's lovely, Black woman. And I said to her, you're the party of identity politics. You know, we have to admit this true. Are you telling me that the Democratic Party is going to select a white man to run for president? There's no way that's going to happen. So your choices are Stacey Abrams, if she should lose the gubernatorial race, or even if she wins in Georgia, and Elizabeth Warren. Like those are my two picks. It won't be Gavin Newsom. I don't see how in the world they pick a white man. I don't. This is Jody. Love how we get all the blame for January 6th, but you never hear any blowback from Democrats regarding the summer of love and the violence against cops that summer and ever since. How about the violence that took place on Inauguration Day on 2017 when D.C. businesses were just attacked, ripped apart, windows broken, and everything else? You don't hear anything about that either. The idea that you would blame millions of people who voted for Trump for January 6th, as opposed to the people engaged in the riot on January 6th, is to me a bit of a mind scramble. I, for one, am not buying in. Kevin saying, in all my life, I've never heard a sitting president ask for half the population be segregated as evil. And oh yeah, I mean, you hear the MSNBC talk and the other talk, you hear the president talk. I mean, you're calling half the country evil. And people don't want to be called evil. People don't want to be told they're evil. Well, that was it, right? Karma. Trump, not Biden used the term that the people who support Trump are Trumpies. You'll note, however, in my conversation, I didn't bring up Trump at all. I don't believe that you have to engage some kind of defense of Trump. I don't think that's necessary. You need to talk to people about policy. You need to talk to people about a better way to live your life, not under the thumb of these oppressive Puritans who believe that they know what's best for you. And if you step out of line, you should be destroyed. You should be canceled. You should be silenced. However it is you want to say it. That's the thing I think connects. It doesn't even have to be a conversation about Biden. I mean, about Trump. It doesn't. It has to be a conversation of Biden screaming this, MAGA that. Here's his policies that haven't worked for us. Look what's happening in California. Look what's happening at the border. Look at the violence happening in cities all over the place. Here's a policy. Vote for this person. That's the policy they're going to vote for. You vote for enough of those people, you actually get those policies. Your life is better, and you're safer walking down the street. Sound good? I don't know how it's any more difficult than that. I don't know how it's any more difficult than that. Kenneth, it seems being extreme is a new trend. For what we're seeing from the progressive left, they're not trying to be extreme, although they are. They are trying to show themselves as the only decent people left by demonizing and dehumanizing those who disagree with them. Demonizing and dehumanizing people has itself a history. It's something I have no interest in reliving. Thank you very much. I didn't have to live through it the first time. I have no interest in even living through it as some of my relatives had to. It only leads to a bad place, man. It only does. I appreciate you guys being here very, very much. And of course, I appreciate Americans for Prosperity, americansforprosperity.org, sponsoring this show, letting me do this thing. It's a pretty cool thing to do. Pretty cool thing to do. And wait, who's this? This is Kimberly. Hey, she started calling people kitten. Yeah, I was going to Vegas last month, and so I started calling everybody kitten. And it's down. Now it's what I do. You hear what I'm saying, kitten? One of those. You know, like, well, I don't know. I don't know if that works for me. I don't know if I can get away with that. Or right there. Guys, you're appreciated. You're loved. So glad you're here. I'll catch you tomorrow. Take care.